This is Hugo Oliveira, who used to date this girl called Bobby. However, she left him for another guy in his bad time. Hugo is a bad, masculine and egoistic type of guy, but Bobby's love was able to change him into something else. Suddenly, he wakes up from a nightmare and we can see him sitting in an airplane. Upon waking up, a stranger woman asks him what happened and he calmly tells her, "She left me." He finally reaches the airport, where his older brother is waiting for him and slaps him on the back of his head. Hugo asks him to drive his expensive car and they flee from there. They finally reach their house, where Hugo gets emotional looking at a picture of his best friend, who died long ago in a bike race, which they both used to do together. Finally, he comes across his old cruise bike and rides it to somewhere unknown. Coming back to the city reminds him of all the memories. We can see him coming to the same place, where he used to hang out with his friends and recalls all the memories. He gets a call from someone mysterious and decides to meet them with a smile on his face. He arrives at the market and meets one of his old friend, who asks him on a dinner later at night, since they had a fight last time they met. Hugo seemed a bit hesitant about it. It seems like Hugo has matured a lot and his ego was not a concern anymore. Then arrives Katina, Bobby's best friend back in the days. Hugo hugs her and seem to have a relationship like a brother and a sister. Meanwhile, an unknown woman takes Hugo's picture with her camera. Katina gets to know that he never called Bobby while he was studying in London. He rides away from the spot. However, the mysterious woman was determined to follow him for some reason. She accidentally hits his bike and decides to pour his gasoline into her own car. The cashier notices the incident and signals Hugo about it. Hugo caught her red-handed and accuses her of sucking the gasoline for selfish reasons. He takes his bike and puts it away, while he had stolen the car keys earlier. He decides to steal her car and drive away while the girl panics. Suddenly, he stops and asks her to call herself thief, for him to be able to give her car back. But the girl was not hesitant to show him the inevitable finger. This makes Hugo smile, because he finally gets to taste his own medicine. He decides to take her to a dinner party his old friend invited him into. This girl is called Ginevra, to which Hugo laughs a bit, but gets slapped by the girl immediately. Her nickname is Gin. Upon Hugo making fun of her name as if it was a tonic, she tells him about her heels getting into his mouth soon if he does not stop. Hugo decides to drive recklessly and shows her who is the bigger prick of them all. Finally, they stop at a location, where the girl decides to fix the punctured car. Hugo tries to help her out. However, she is not a princess, says Jin. While Hugo is relieving himself, she reveals her parents are no more, which makes Hugo upset. Hugo arrives at the dinner party, where everyone welcomes him as if they were meeting some sort of mafia. At the dinner table, a little friendly fight ensues, which makes Hugo smile and be thankful for everything. Hugo walks away to reach washroom. However, he suspects and hears Bobby's voice and immediately looks around for her. But it seems she was long gone. Jin stops her car to leave Hugo at his house as he asked, and gives her car plate number to Hugo, so that he can get her address and into, instead of giving away her number, in case he wants to hang out with her ever again. It is revealed this was not Hugo's house, but be with. Suddenly, Bobby arrives in a black car along with a strange man, who tried to kiss her before she leaves, but she refuses. However, she used the same tactic of Hugo's and kisses the man from the car window and leaves, which was devastating to see for Hugo. Upon arriving back in her house, she finds her sister leaving for party and finds her mother uncontrollably looking for something. Bobby gets to know she is worried if her husband is cheating on her, but Bobby suggests that she is thinking too much. While Hugo was hiding behind the wall, Bobby looks outside of her window, as if she felt something. It was evident that Hugo was still in love with Bobby. Even after all these years, we can see him practicing for boxing and showing his emotions in the way of boxing. One of the leaders was impressed by him and asked for a boxing match. The leader hits him once, but he had no idea being a former gangster Hugo was the king of fights. Hugo punched him back to back until he is left barely unconscious. However, Hugo leaves after saying sorry. Later on, Hugo happily meets his father, who gives him contact card of a person who he was going to work for soon. Back at Bobby's house, she heard her sister talking about Hugo and walks into her bedroom. Her sister Daniela was about to tell their parents about Chico and herself being together. Bobby scolds her sisters for being naive and asks her to not make stupid mistakes. But Daniela reminds Bobby of her and Hugo's relation in a sarcastic way. We are moved to the scene where Hugo meets a person who looks like a film director, who asked him to do the ordinary work. But Hugo was hesitant, and they made a deal in the end that he won't tell anyone that his father helped him get this job. Later on, we can see Jin coming to the same location, where Hugo and Jin hit each other and catches each other's eyes. The audition was going on, when Jin comes for her audition and makes everyone laugh with her outgoing personality. In the end, she reveals her talent to the judges and sings a beautiful song while playing guitar. After the audition, Hugo asked her if she wanted to be dropped at her house. Hugo asked her to hold him tight, but she was nervous. However, on the way she does hold him, and both feel a romantic moment with a smile on their face. Hugo arrives inside her house with a smile on his face and takes a look at the city map. Jin reveals how she goes to different gyms whole month and so she does not pay for the gyms. She gets a call from someone and put Hugo into a cupboard so that her religious mother could not see him. While hiding, Hugo smells her clothes and whispers to himself for losing his control. He whispers at Jin, who is about to put her clothes into the washing machine, reveals it was all a lie. Suddenly, Hugo excitedly runs after her and tickles her a bit to make her laugh. In a minute, they were about to kiss each other. But Jin's brother arrives at the spot. Hugo leaves after saying hi to her brother and thinks of meeting her again, which indeed make her smile. We are moving into the future, where we can see Bobby's sister along with her boyfriend Chico. Hugo was present at the party as well along with Bobby's best friend Katina. While standing in this huge crowd in the middle of the club, he started to imagine all those moments he spent earlier with Bobby. The way he touched her, felt her skin, hands and all. It felt as if he was in some sort of trance. Suddenly, Katina wakes him up from his fantasy. We can see Bobby's sister is drinking a lot and being naive she consumes a strong substance in the rush of making it even more exciting. Hugo was standing idle. Suddenly, he sees the same person he beat earlier in the boxing match, who was teasing him. Katina distracts him instead and starts to drink a lot with his friends. Drinks were coming back to back, but Hugo was not into any of this. On the other hand, Daniela was getting out of control and kissing different people back and forth, and finally we can see her in a washroom, having great time with the guy. We can see Hugo sitting along with Katina, who is feeling a bit dizzy. Soon, she moves her head forward to Hugo's and could not resist herself, but Hugo says no. She says sorry and reveals how she is missing her dead ex-boyfriend and Hugo's best friend a lot. Later, she comes into the washroom and finds Daniela in a brutal mental and physical state, and we are moved to another scene, where Hugo reveals about Jin to his imaginary best friend. The talk goes on for a while, about dead friend's girlfriend Katina who misses him a lot. Hugo's friend asks him about Bobby as well and suggests him to forgive her, and himself too for what happened in the past. Soon he walks away from his friend's grave. Next morning, he arrives at the boxing practice him of being afraid, and we are moved to the scene where Hugo is about to fight Jin. Hugo gets hit by Jin at first, but when Hugo hits her back it felt pretty painful for her. Hugo thought that was it, but Jin was just warming up for the inevitable. She hits him back to back with anger and the real fight begins. Their fight caught Coach's attention and both of them are kicked out of there. Finally, after huge trouble she tells him to come pick her up the same night for their date. Meanwhile, Bobby could not bear hiding Daniela's truth of being pregnant from their parents, because it was getting out of control. Daniela, however, recalls Hugo was the one to text Bobby about picking up Daniela from the taxi last night. Jin and Hugo were ready to go on their first date. They were enjoying every bit of it and having lots of fun. It felt as if both were falling in love with each other. While Daniela reveals for the reason she did the inevitable last night, because she wanted a love story like her and Hugo. Hugo shows Jin an amazing view of the city, which makes her feel close to Hugo in every way possible. She was finally letting her go as she felt comfortable and safe in Hugo's presence. She could not resist herself anymore and let her clothes go too. There they do the inevitable with pure passion as if this was the last day of their life. Babai also takes a look at one of their old picture and feels frustrated. Even though Hugo was in love once again, he still had a big part of Bobby hidden inside of him. Upon waking up, Hugo finds out his mother arrived at his brother's home to meet him. But he was hesitant because Hugo once saw her cheating on her father, and hates her since then. Same night, both Hugo and Jin arrives at a local club, where Bobby was present as well. Bobby coincidentally watches Katina drinking something and follows her to reveal how much she misses her. However, Katina felt very hesitant of it all, since Bobby left her in her worst time in the past. Finally, Hugo arrives inside the club and introduces Jin to Katina. When Jin walks away to get some drinks for them, Katina reveals to Hugo that she met Bobby in the club. Hugo does not waste time and started to look for Bobby all around the club. Meanwhile, Jin gets upset upon realizing Hugo is not there. Hugo's follow-up ends when he could not find Babai anywhere. We can see Hugo back at work, where Jin was teasing him a bit as well. She calls him somewhere silent to have some passionate moments. Hugo could not resist himself, neither Jin, and the moments last quite a while. Later, Hugo drops her home and she kisses him before leaving. Hugo lets her keep his jacket as well. His thoughts were making her smile throughout the day. While Bobby was sitting with her family, her father gifts her wife something, which Bobby expected to be a jewelry. However, it comes out to be a book. This suggested that her worst nightmare came alive because her husband was cheating on her. Suddenly, their daughter also reveals to them that she is pregnant, which was just like a cherry on top for the mother. Later, Babai calls Jin and asks her to give the phone to Hugo. However, Jin refuses, saying Hugo is not home. Hugo arrives at a hospital to know that his mother is not doing well with her health. He comes inside to meet his sick mother and finally makes her smile with his talks and past memories. On the other hand, Babai has finally realized her mistakes and started crying in her room all alone. While Jin was sitting idle, upset, Hugo arrives to pick her up from the location, after her brother told him where she is, and lets her ride the bike to be able to teach her about it. But soon he gets to know that she is even better rider than himself. Hugo stood on the bike and said he wants her, which makes her smile. Later they come across a bridge, where if a couple do a ritual they will never be separated, which Hugo passionately follows by throwing a key in the river. Next day, while enjoying lunch with Katina and Jin, Hugo sees his friend's bike, who had been driven by his rival man. This was because his best friend owed some money to the rival man. They finally arrive back at Jin's house and have some fun moments. The love was definitely taking a new turn for Hugo. While they all were sitting, Katina writes something on a piece of paper and stands on the edge of the building, hence scaring everyone instantly. However, she was finally letting the love of her life go. One day, while a great show was about to happen in front of a big audience, Hugo gets a call from Katina, who asked him to come meet her at an address, which was really important. So Hugo decided to leave, but not before setting his boss up with the artist, which was of course Jin herself, because the main artist did not arrive in time. While Hugo was on his way to find out what was so important, Jin sings a wonderful song with huge sadness in her eyes. Hugo finds out the person he was about to meet was not other than Bobby. They catch each other's eyes and looked as if they were both guilty of something. They talk all alone for a while, where Bobby tells how much she missed him. So does Hugo. Even though Hugo's desire was coming true, he wanted to leave. So Bobby comes along with him and asks him to go somewhere with her before she leave him at work. She takes him to the same place. They once spend lots of amazing time emotionally and physically. Bobby was acting as if she was ready to receive the love she missed for a long time. Both catches each other's eyes, where Bobby slowly moves her mouth towards Hugo's. But Hugo was nervous about all this. It felt as if both were forcing each other just for the sake of doing it. However, things started to heat up between them and the inevitable between Hugo and Bobby happened. While Jin was also imagining all of this happening in her mind, suddenly, she gets to know Hugo has arrived at the workplace. After the moments, both arrives back in Baba's car. Before Hugo leaves, she reveals to him that she did all this just to know if she still had feelings for Hugo, because she was about to get married next month. Hugo wished her the best while having tears in his eyes and lets Bobby go. On her way, Babai could not control herself from crying either. Her mother was sobbing uncontrollably too because her husband was cheating on her. Hugo arrives back at the work and hears a huffing sound of a woman. So he opens the door to find out that it was someone else having some romantic moments. Once again, he hears a sound, but this time it was the sound of pain. It was not other than Jin herself with a couple of men, who were forcing her of something brutal. Upon breaking the door with anger, he finds his boss along with his assistant doing something to her. He picks up a metal rod and hit all of them brutally, which makes them almost unconscious. His emotions were over the roof. He was frustrated, crying and sobbing all at the same time. Not too long after, in the emotional turmoil, he punched the man back to back and almost put him to eternal sleep. However, one of the good men arrives and help him control his emotions. Hugo goes outside to look for Jin and finds her walking while crying, who asks Hugo where he was, to which Hugo had no answer. This was enough of a signal for her to walk away and to make Hugo cry in agony. Hugo sits on his bike while his friend Katina shouted at him to stop. He finally reaches the same spot, where his friend died in a bike accident. He wears his jacket and proceeds to meet the rival man, who was playing with his mind since a long time. Jin was also devastated for everything that had happened in the past. Katina arrives at the race and realizes that Hugo had participated in it too, as she was afraid of losing her best friend Hugo. All the things felt if the hell had arrived on Earth for the whole world. Hugo was risking not only his life, but all the people who he loved. The race was going on as if it was some kind of death match. It was going more and more aggressive as the time passed by. On the other hand, Jin was losing herself as the time was going on. For some reason, Hugo finally stops in the middle and slowly gets off his bike. He put his bike down and calmly walked towards the rival man and picks up his friend's bike, which was owned by his friend, and rides away with it. Hugo stops for a moment and rides the bike with full speed towards the lake, while his best friend's imagination was sitting on the back seat. He jumps in the lake along with the bike and to finally be able to let go of his friend and the guilt of not being there for him in his last bike race. Next morning, Katina says sorry to him and he hugs her with all the love he was left with. Suddenly, a call arrives and after talking, he throws away the phone in the lake. We can see him arriving at his mother's ward, inside the hospital. It was clear she did not have too long to live. So Hugo sleeps beside her mother while sobbing, as if he was still a little child. His mother knew her time has arrived. Later on, we can see him writing a letter, which he decides to never send to Jin. While he explains all the wise and sad words in the letter, we can see Hugo's mother passed away, where Jin was present too. His father was devastated for his mother's death. Daniels also accepted being pregnant and having the baby. Katina also fell in love with Jin's brother. Hugo can see all the painting in Jin's gallery, including his own. He was confused about burning the letter or not, but sends it to her anyways, To which, we can see her crying while Hugo is sitting beside her. Jin suggests them both to try it once again, even though it was not going to be easy. To see next part of this romance recap, please subscribe to N Recaps and support the channel by liking this video. Hope we see you next time.